Parkour is essentially using your urban environment in a different way that's ever really been done before. You put a bit of gymnastics flair in there, but it's an art form. The beauty of it is it takes us back to nature. It is just a square, boring space to a normal person, and we put creativity back into that environment. We put nature back onto it. We use this body that nature has given us on this square environment to make it look like beautiful and balletic. It's so easy to go through life and only use your legs to walk between two destinations and only use your arms to write and type on a keyboard. Life isn't about just a 9 to 5 because that's not living. And what I do is I try and put a bit more sparkle in this concrete environment. When I'm jumping at walls, it's not a matter of getting a tape measure out and measuring the distance. It really becomes a subconscious knowledge of what you can do. You can look at a distance and really within a matter of millimeters you know whether you'll be able to land it and stay on the wall or land it and fall backwards. I just think ever since I was a kid I enjoyed movement, expressing myself in my body and exploring environments, and parkour, when I discovered that, it was like a culmination of everything. And it's also, as I got older I got a deeper understanding of why I do parkour. When you do it as a child, it's just like an innate thing with all of us. We want to play and climb and explore, and as I got older I discovered there's a deeper rooted connection with like a spiritual nature within us that wants to express itself, and we're happy when we're not thinking too much and we're just doing something and being in the moment, and parkour really puts me in the moment.
No arm handstand, one arm handstand. Look at this. Baller.
Oh yeah, Tim.
Yeah, eat it full.
Wow, impressive.
I don't mean to start controversy, but I know Ito's saying that he won't take anyone on a vegan diet. That it's not, you can't be strong enough.
Oh,
but I just thought that.
Ito. I like that guy, man.
I know, me too.
The way he talks passionately about movement, Ito, like he's got a spot on. But you don't need to eat dead animals. Like, try it. Has he tried it? I don't know.
I don't think he's ever tried. I don't know if he's tried it.
Maybe he has, but maybe he's not tried 80-10-10. Maybe he's not eating enough fruit. Like, you know what I mean? You got to eat enough fruit. Enough is the only. So Dr. Douglas Graham says, enough is the only amount I can tell you. That's it.
For sure.
I'm working on myself more than anything.
Good for you. Yes.
I think you can always work on yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Be the change you want to see.
Be the change you want to see. But people think that you preach and you're trying to force your message on someone. But really, like, if I care what people think of me, then I wouldn't preach, because I'd want to be like, I don't want people to think I'm preaching it.
Yeah,
but the message is more important than what people think of me. So I'll say it, and if it resonates, then they'll connect, and there'll be something they can take away from it. And if it doesn't, then I don't need to be around that person at this time. So.
True.
You know.
And that's what you do, though. You post on Instagram. Every week I'm seeing 2 or 3 vegan recipes and
everything that I do now. I mean, we've kind of almost built like an inbuilt law. We have to produce 30% of everything we do has to be veggie or vegan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like fats.
Yeah.
And that's partly from meeting you.
It's changed my outlook. I mean, I do this for a living. I have to do commercial work, and I had to change the companies I wanted to work with. I worked a lot with Red Bull and other companies, and I had to change that. I was like, I cannot promote Red Bull to kids, because I mean, even at the events, the Red Bull events, the top athletes aren't drinking Red Bull.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And then I see these kids at the side getting the free cans, thinking that's what we do, and then I see them out training, drinking the energy drinks, thinking that's what the pros do, and I can't support that. Whatever. Last year I went to Santorini to judge a Red Bull competition. I'm getting paid to get flown to a beautiful island in the middle of Greece to sit and just write numbers on paper, watching some of the best freerunners run. That's great, but I've had to turn that down. I've had to make these sacrifices for what I believe in. I'm not a freerunner. I'm what I do with that role, that position that freerunning has given me. I've become successful within freerunning. I've got a following there. And so I've had to take that responsibly and be like, okay, so if I'm in this position, I've got to be responsible for these kids and them growing up. What world do I want to promote?
Yeah.
And so I found a company that I want to promote, Vita Coco, who's up and coming coconut water. And I know for the rest of my life I can promote coconut water. Obviously it's optimum to get it from a coconut, but if you're living in a Western country and it's not as easy to access, and you can go to a corner store and find a bottle of Vita Coco, get that over the energy drink every time.
100%.
your decisions on a daily basis of what meal to choose shouldn't cause the death of another being on this planet. Your happiness should not have to rely on the death of another being. That makes no sense. If you're a really happy person, you're truly happy and you love yourself, then why would you ever depend on the death of another being to continue that happiness? It should just be there anyway. So you've got to really take a look at yourself, and as a society, as a planet, a civilization, we're not civil yet. So when the human planet, the human race adopts a vegetarian diet, we'll become a civilization finally. For me, spirituality isn't anything to do with talking. It's nothing, it's all about action. If you grow your faith in yourself and your abilities, then fear shrinks. I want to surround myself with the right people, and I'm amazed at how many of the right people have turned up at my doorstep. No animals need to be killed on our land because we've got an abundance of fruit and vegetables and everything we need from all over the world. Are you willing to give up a bit of convenience for actually being mindful and making a decision based on spiritual beliefs? Okay, we care about the dolphins. How about you care about the cows in your own backyard? They don't deserve what they get. I've only ever messed up when my mind wasn't present. It's not about me anymore. My life isn't about me. It's about what I can offer and give back.
London Real presents.
I'm very good friends with non-vegans because it's not everyone's journey. You know, it's not everyone's journey. If you're dedicating your life to a message that you believe is for the greater good and you're not vegan, then I really don't think that's, you know, at least you're serving some purpose, and that's not your role to go vegan if it takes too much of your energy and drains you to do that. I'm not telling like the single mom with 3 kids that's struggling to get by, goes to KFC every day to change their diet, because it's not her role. It's for the more mindful. If you're spirited and you're caring and you're comfortable and you're happy and content, then it's a decision for you to make to start going in this direction. If you've got other problems in your life, then maybe don't worry about it. I'll help change the world and all the restaurants and all the shops so that they'll be more vegan friendly or entirely vegan. That's for me to change the bigger picture. But for us people, and if you're watching this podcast, you're definitely a more mindful person, you're thoughtful, and it's drawn you to this kind of place. It's on us. It's on us to make these decisions for the better. You know, we're voting with our pound. We have to do that.
All right.
I realized I'm quite a big reflector of people. If someone's like a bit off, I'll just reflect that and be like off. If someone's really open and happy, I'll just straight away, we could be like best friends. I just reflect them back quite. So if you're around quite negative people, you will just start to feel that, because you will start to get that vibe off them. Kids are the happiest, most easygoing, pure-spirited, lovely things on the planet, you know. So I just started hanging around with kids because they make me happy.
Yeah.
You know, they don't judge anyone. They're happy like 95% of the time, and when they are sad, you can see through it why they shouldn't be sad. Not that you just have to let them come around, but you know, most of the time they're happy and fun, and they see the world with wonder, and it makes you feel that sometimes when you're around them, and you start to appreciate things with them, and at that level. So I was like, whoa, stop hanging around with adults. You know, a lot of them are depressive and got addictions and problems. Kids are, you know, they're born with love. When I'm stood high up or hanging from a wall, I was in a park in New York and there was calisthenic guys going, and I climbed a tree and was hanging upside down, and they were like, oh, I don't want to be around when he falls and the ambulance has to come, and you know, they're saying all these negative things.
Right.
Now, if you saw a 4-year-old in that park, what does a 4-year-old say? Oh my God, that's something. They'd love it.
Right.
They'd be so impressed and they'd want to try it themselves. Kids are born with that faith and wonder and admiration, and you know, all this fear and negativity and assumption of accidents is learned into us. So I try and hang out with kids where they've got that attitude that I want to have and hone into more.
Last thing, you deal with haters sometimes, and there were some ice bucket haters and stuff like that. But you've been such a public guy for a long time. Like, do you find that you deal with it differently now? Do you need to listen to haters a little bit?
Yeah, you do. You can learn a lot from them.
You do, right?
But because you bite, and when you bite, then there's still work to be done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you can learn with them without biting, right? You can learn from them without biting.
Yeah, you can learn without biting.
But you still bite? I would have thought you would have been.
No,
past
no, not often.
Okay.
But occasionally, not more haters. I bite more on discussions about veganism because of ignorant comments.
Okay.
But I'm getting better. What I realized in life, we're constantly rising to happiness and well-being, like a cork in water. You're just always headed there, but we do things from day to day that knock us back down, and it lowers your vibration. You feel it. You feel that sink in you argue back, and then they give a response that is always going to be just more annoying than the last time they responded, and it makes you feel that. And if you just slowly observe these things we do day to day, sometimes it's just checking Facebook at once an hour and looking through the feed.
Right.
You come out of it, you turn your phone off, and you'll be duller.
And that brings you down, right?
It'll bring you down. So we do these things day to day. You've got to learn to observe what these actions are day to day that lower your vibration, and slowly cut them out, because then you constantly you can start to sink here. And that's the one thing I've learned. And that's haters is exactly an example of that. Is responding to them lowers your vibration, and it never gives a good outcome. If you delete them, block them, 2 minutes later, you don't even remember it, you know?
So don't engage.
Don't engage.
That's what you're learning.
It's obvious advice. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I know.
Anything new. I need my own advice sometimes, you know?
I think